Yo, what's good? My name is Jackson Pruitt, and you watching All 10. This is my first official video where we're gonna get straight into it, baby. We're gonna talk about two things today. We're gonna talk about the coaching carousel, and we're gonna talk about the NCAA losing in court again. They lost again. If you paying attention to March Madness right now, bro, UConn got that crazy dub yesterday, crazy comeback win and all that, bro. But you look at the situation. I don't know if you're familiar. If not, I'm about to learn you something. Will Wade was at LSU, right? A couple years ago, and I'm not sure. I couldn't for sure tell you like all the reasons that he got fired or left LSU and all that. I'm 100% schooled on that, but I do know it was over some recruiting violations and things like that. So he ends up leaving LSU and he steps away from coaching. He gets hired again at NC State. He builds that program back up after maybe 1 or 2 years, couple years, whatever. They make a run in the tournament. I don't know if y'all saw the Oregon kid and all that stuff. So obviously how college sports works is you win at the lower level, you get a better job, which is fine and dandy. The problem is though, people get mad when kids do that. When they play at the lower level, they win at the lower level, and they go and get bigger jobs, bigger money, just like coaches. But when kids do it, it's a problem. That's weird. However, though, you get into it. Will Wade goes from NC State to NC State. NC State's happy, like, oh yeah, he's gonna save our basketball program. Whoop-de-whoop. NC State made the tournament this year, but they did spend a pretty penny for their roster and everything like that, but nothing crazy. They probably still overachieved this year, but they made the tournament. Then there becomes rumblings that the coach or the AD that gave Will Wade a chance for a job at NC State and gave him a second chance is gonna get the job at LSU. So then a reporter asks, well, Will Wade after NC State's game or whatever, he's like, hey, I heard that NC State's AD is about to go to LSU. Would you be interested in going to LSU too? And he gives a good media trained response back of, is the LSU job even open? No, I'm focused on NC State. Less than 48 hours, he was on the plane to LSU. NC State doesn't have a coach. His recruiting class, stuff like that, it's back into a frenzy. And that's just the nature of college sports. And I just want people to understand, this coach just came on TV and looked and basically called this reporter a crazy man for asking him that question, just for him to up and leave and be all happy. So much so it's actually causing uproar kind of in the basketball community I'm seeing. They didn't even announce or say thank you to LSU's like current coach. They didn't even announce they fired their coach. They just said Will Wade is the new head coach of LSU or whatever. So that's ridiculous, man. And it's ridiculous from the aspect of if a player were to do what Will Wade did. If a player goes to a Power 5 school, transfers down to a lower level school, balls out and transfers up, they would be getting called all type of names and things like that and saying, oh, you used the mid-major school to get back on your feet and all that. When that's just not the case, bro. People just take advantage of opportunities and of the system that is put in front of them. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to do one or two things, three things. They want to make it to the next level and play on the biggest stage. They want to make as much money as possible because whatever the sport is, the money isn't guaranteed, or they just want to play. They just want to play ball. And sometimes people want all three, And you look at like situations like this happen in football, in college sports right now. Like you look at a situation where there are dudes that were in the transfer portal that were on the back end, kind of waited, signed with the school, got comfortable with the coach. As soon as they signed, they got comfortable and ready to go play for that coach. That coach left and went to another school for more money. And now I just signed a contract, which is how you get paid. Let's call it what it is. I signed a contract to get paid and to play for this coach who's supposed to have to take it to the next level, and now that coach is gone. And the only way that you can enter the transfer portal is if a head coach there's a head coach coaching change. So now I'm stuck. Or I can do what everybody does, take the NCAA to court and maybe transfer in May. But that's just not a thing, and it's just not fair. And not enough people are talking about like how this is affecting the players and the players and the coaches, because the calendars from both sides are just so messed up, and there's no grounds to speak on, and it doesn't make any sense. And that kind of like loops into the next thing where the NCAA is fighting stuff that doesn't matter. They just lost in court again. They tried to take Trinidad Chambliss back to court and say, look, we are appealing. We don't think that you should be eligible this year. If you're not familiar, Trinidad Chambliss played at Ferris State for the earlier part of his college career. He was there for, I believe 4 years, something like that. D2's eligibility rules are a bit different from D1 as they track things by semesters and not by like things played and things like that. But I won't get too deep into that because that's a little whirlwind. But all in the matter of fact is, the reason Trinidad Chambliss didn't play one of his years Division II football was because he had it's called a medical red shirt. And the NCAA was trying to say that he didn't apply it properly or whatever. And so Trinidad, rightfully so, took him to court, and he won in court. Was it in front of a Mississippi judge and all that? Yes. But the second the NCAA allowed things to get outside of jurisdiction, that's just what's going to happen. And until the NCAA decides to work with the players and get some type of collective bargaining agreement or whatever, they're going to just keep getting took to court and losing. Because you're right, the things that the NCAA is doing is not fair to the players, to the consumer of the product. So it's all crazy. And so basically though, the NCAA tried to take him back to the same judge and say, hey, you got to look at this again. Like, there's no way this dude should be eligible for a 6 year of football. They lost. So, and they'll continue to lose these things in courts, and they'll have small victories in court as well. But until they decide to come to the players and come to the coaches and say, hey, let's get together, let's put some pen to paper, let's make some rules that's fair for everybody, let's make a calendar that makes sense for everybody, these situations will continue to happen. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like I said, this isn't an attack on the NCAA as a whole and people, because there's some great, I know people personally that work for NCAA that are great people, but unfortunately the system, this is not going to work anymore, and it's going to be hard, especially with men's basketball, college football, and women's basketball. The calendar at the end of the day is the main issue, and I really feel like this probably be a lot of the theme of my page and things that's going on. Talking about things that's going on in the news and just staying up to date. So I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Continue to grow with me. If you're watching this on my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, bro, please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment, bro. I'm gonna have some athletes on here. We're gonna talk about it. Cause like I said, I go to Temple myself, and I've experienced, some of these things, especially being somebody that's played here, and I've experienced tampering and all type of things, So we'll talk about this though. I appreciate everybody, bro. Appreciate y'all for checking all 10. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna catch y'all next time, bro. We're gonna keep it short and sweet. I promise.